No, Sierra, don't do it. Don't do it. You know that every time a girl has crossed the finish line with her man, she has lost them the next day. Please, please, please stay together. Hi, I'm Reality Reactions. I'm so excited for you all to be here, and let's get into episode 16. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm very, very excited. I really want to get to that 1,000 subscribers, and I'll be here with you every day to recap Love Island. So let's get started. So we are coming back from the challenge. The challenge is over now. They're starting to get to know the bombshells. The boys ask Adrena what her type is. She really cares about chemistry and spark, and you can just see the boys just they're not even listening to what she's saying. Honestly, you can just see the googly eyes. They're like, eyes are open wide. They're just you know how like in like Disney movies it's like but it's kind of like that. Like they're just zoned into her eyes, like, which I can't blame them because she is beautiful. Like, she is a bombshell. That is the definition of bombshell. Now, TJ, on the other hand, I'm not the looks police. Let me start with that. So don't get in my comments talking about, anything like that. Look at yourself first. I just want to say that I wasn't falling out on the ground shocked. I wasn't Miguel level. Let's just say, I know that everybody's using that, but I'm not tripping about him really. I wish that the girls got someone a little bit better. So now she asked what their types are, and of course Jeremiah speaks up and says, I like foreign, Latina, family oriented, driven, funny, and Ace starts laughing because he's like, yeah, I'm not trying to just copy you. This has been my answer from the beginning. Now, to his defense, Jeremiah's answer was that from the beginning. So I don't know why Ace is laughing, but I think he's just fronting for Adrena. So, we go back to the girls, and we have TJ. They ask him for a name, sign, favorite food. TJ says he is a Sagittarius. Finally, a Sagittarius is in the building. Whoop whoop. And then he loves steak. Iris loves his eye contact. TJ, they asked TJ what his type is, and of course he says everybody. Can't stand that answer. It's not about being everybody. Everybody has preferences. I'm sorry. I do not believe everybody is people's type. There's no way. And then we have Adrena, who asks if they are closed off, like the boys are closed off. Nick says no, and he makes it clear. But I was glad because at first he said it in a way of like, no, I'm good. I want you to talk to me. And everybody starts laughing. But he does make it clear that Sierra and him are good, but they're still open. Nick thinks she's gorgeous. He's that he gets nervous around her. I like that he is so secure in himself that he's open with his emotions and how he's feeling. So I think that's great. And then we have Nick. She thinks Nick is cute as well. She gets sweet boy vibes from him. I think Nick is a great time, honestly. I just feel like if I knew him, I would know what he was thinking because he's fake sometimes, I feel. Because he wants to play in Hood's face and then talk about her behind her back like, get away from her. But then again, you know what? Friends do that all the time just because we're not gonna... I don't know. I feel like you talk about your friends to other friends, not like in a bad way. It's just more like, hey, you need to do what's healthy in this healthy dynamic, or this is a toxic dynamic. So I really want to help you both out. And I think, maybe it's getting edited out. I don't want to call Nick fake. It's just more like, I don't like seeing the scenes where he's all up in Hood's face, being, I want to be an uncle to your kid. I want to be uncle to your kid. And then telling Jeremiah to leave her, knowing that would make her crash out. I don't know. I just have some feelings about that. And then we have, it goes back to Adrena, and she says Jeremiah is so sexy and fine. She is really, really vibing with Jeremiah, which is very, very interesting. But, who can blame her? Jeremiah is a nice looking man, so we'll see where that goes. And then we have TJ. He is the most excited to find his love of his life, and he just wants to find someone who is all about family, marriage, and believes in him, which is anything anyone would want. And then TJ believes everyone looks good, but really likes Sierra and Iris. Once again, of course, he has preferences. And then we have Jeremiah gets pulled for a chat from Adrena. Jeremiah says that the best thing about him is his family, and that's very, very important to her. It's hard being bombshell because you have to go in and be the bad guy. That is so true, and your spot is never like secure, at least for a good 2 weeks, because you are just so fresh in there and you're testing other people's connections that it's really not not even like about you. It's more like I'd rather be the original girl. And well, yeah, maybe the only bombshell that I would be is the first bombshell, because I feel like that's position you I'm not, I don't want to say rarely get voted off, but I feel like having that first bombshell seat, just like Liv last year, like I feel like the first bombshell seat is the only one that gives you a really fair shot. Everyone else is just it's too iffy for me. I'd rather be a original girl. And then Sierra walks with TJ, holding hands right in front of the boys. She says, "Hey, boys," trying to sing hi to the group while holding hands. Now, girl, not too much. And then TJ wants to say, "Oh, I'll take good care of her to Nick." Boy, don't you start that stuff. That Pepe little, macho man stuff ain't gonna fly in here. And then he, not too much, Sierra, because if Adrena was gallivanting around the villa with hand holding within the first 30 minutes of her being there, insanity. But I'm gonna just keep going. They're getting to know each other, where they're from, sports that they like, stuff like that. I'm not going to get into every little detail. She says that he has soft, genuine energy and picks up good vibes. Alondra and Taylor talk about the how they enjoyed the night with Meg. Talk about the clubbing. They talk about if they club back home. And he says, yeah, but he doesn't go to country clubs. He goes to regular clubs. Alondra doesn't like really clubs that much. She's more of a day clubber. And then she asks, what's the day in the life for him, like on the farm. He gives her the day in the life, get up with the family or with the farm animals, feed them, whatever. By the weekend, he goes to the rodeo, and he says, she asks him, sorry about that. Oh, I'm stuttering today, so I apologize for that. And then she says, you do that every weekend? He basically says, yeah. And I thought that would be like a turnoff, because like he has a really big, busy schedule, but she really, really likes him. And I hope she doesn't get her feelings hurt, but Taylor is feeling that bombshell. And if people gave him a chance, I think that their relationship will be in more turmoil, but I feel like the bombshells coming in ain't really feeling Taylor either. So that's why their relationship is just smooth sailing, really. But that's just me. Then we have Huda once again doing an inappropriate thing at an inappropriate time. Now Huda pulls Pepe. Can you believe that? She pulled Pepe for a chat. I know Hannah was pissed. But at the end of the day, you know what? Huda is right, though, in this aspect of, like, what are her choices? She doesn't have much. Like, and people who she's feeling back, it is kind of true. She only has Pepe and the new boy. So what do you want her to do? Like, kind of wait for a new bombshell and one just got in? Like, she has to get moving. And then she says she pulls him to speakeasy, of course, and then she says when you first walked in, she felt that Pepe was looking at her a ton, but never pulled her. And of course, he never pulled you because you were with Jeremiah and you made it so known that you're all about him. So why even try? No one's gonna risk their position for not even a half a maybe. There's no way. And then he knows that you guys are super territorial about each other. You have a kid again, and that is a big deal to people, and I just feel like you can't just gloss over that. That is a real big deterrent in Love Island. I think she's gonna have a hard time, but you know what, I do believe that Huda should have a bombshell coming in that is especially just for her, because it's unfair that Jeremiah has gotten 2-3 bombshells that have him on their list, and Huda has got none. And I don't like that. I think that's unfair. I think that's setting her up for failure. If producers want to keep her and keep her in the villa, at least give her a fair shot. But anyways, and then never pulled her. She got out. She wanted to get out of her comfort zone and actually pull him, because you never did it. So she has to take initiative. Of course, her first complaint with the man, but it wouldn't be Huda without complaining. And then she says, was I ever your type? He says yes. And then he says Hannah was a bigger personality than he expected to like. Usually his type of personality is a little bit more subdued, but he feels like she's bringing out the inner kid in him, which is a good thing. I didn't know where he was going with that, so I thought he was gonna start complaining about Hannah, which is really, really good. I like that he kept it transparent and was like, no, I like Hannah, it's just not what I expected. And then Huda says that having chats with people again is getting a little bit weird, but she's getting used to it because, she got to get used to it. Hannah feels like she should have talked to her first before pulling Pepe, which I totally agree with, because how you gonna pull Pepe and you would crash out if Hannah did the same thing. If you were in the reverse situation, you would interrupt the chat immediately. They wouldn't even get a chance to walk 3-4 steps before you're like, what's happening here? And why would she do that? And you would hear in the middle of their conversation yelling, screaming, throwing stuff. I do not believe, you know what? Let me not get too far into it. Let me stop myself right now before I get too pissed. So now we're getting back into the scene. So we have Iris, who feels is talking to TJ. She feels like it's more of a friendship connection with Jeremiah, and of course it is, because we already know via Huda and her rude self by saying Jeremiah isn't really feeling Iris like that, more than a friend. So she's not gonna beg for him, so she's ready to move on. And TJ, she tells TJ, I'm pretty sure it's mutual. And then TJ says he was nervous walking in. Iris agrees that when she walked in, she was super nervous too. Iris seems cool. Oh, he says that Iris seems cool. They're starting to get to know each other. TJ and Iris, TJ is telling Iris about what his type is, and he says it's more about personality than a pretty face, which I agree with, but you cannot discount likes or looks. I think personality maybe be like 55%, but 45% is looks. There's no way that get around it. Looks are essential to attraction, and I don't think personality I feel like can grow, but looks like attraction, it's either there or it ain't. I know that on Love at First Sight and Love is Blind and whatever, they foster this idea that attraction can grow. If it's not personality and you're trying to grow attraction to looks, if it ain't there, it won't grow. That's just my opinion. But anyways, so we have TJ, who finds Iris attractive. Iris compliments his lips, dropping hints that she wants to kiss him. He does the same. She drops hints at least 3-4 times. But to me, well, no, actually, let me not do that. Let me not put dubs on it. Maybe 2-3 times. For me, after the second time, I'd be like, okay, he's not getting it, I'm back up. But she kept doing it, so I'm glad that it worked out in her favor. They kiss, and they seem like they're having a good time getting to know each other. Nick and Adrena talk. Adrena has never had a boyfriend, which would be a red flag to me as well. I'm not saying that you should be out there having 15, 16 boyfriends, but I feel like you haven't had at least one, not even a half situationship from middle school. Not even that. Maybe people aren't counting that, and that's why she's getting on the show saying, oh, I've never had a boyfriend. Maybe that's true. I don't know. I feel like, why can't you get in relationships? Are you overly picky? You don't like commitment? What is by 24, 25, you should have at least had 1 or 2. That's just me though. And then she asked Nick if he's ever dated a Latina. He says no, but he's like Spanish girls. He loves that she's calling him Nick. Nick, calm down. Literally, it's just one inflectuation of the vowel. Please don't do too much. Nick, really, you don't even have a long name. All she's doing is just fluctuating a little bit. Anyways, people are suckers for an accent. And then we have Nick saying definitely attracted to her. Of course, everybody's attracted to her. Huda, we jump to a scene where Huda and Adrena are in the changing room with everybody. Huda asks Adrena how the chats went, and then Huda was actually hyping the new girl up, telling her she looks good. Good for you, Huda. Clap, clap, clap. Everybody clap. Everybody clap. I'm so happy we are making progress. Let's actually be a girl's girl, because I'm not saying much girl's girl later on in this episode, but I'm gonna say that. Save that. Sorry. And then we have Hannah, who wishes Huda would have came to her first. Once again, bad girl's girl behavior, because if you want to be such a girl's girl, let's keep you accountable. Then we have Ace and Shelly kissing and cuddling in bed. Then we have Nick and Sierra. Unfortunately, now I have an unpopular opinion. Islanders should not be crossing over the finish line unless they're closed off, because there's too much things that can happen. The other side is too uncertain, because you could be like, Huda, give it up, and then the next day he leaves you. A next day the bombshells comes in. The next day you get voted off. Like, no way, no way. And you're gonna move on? No way you're gonna move on after I give it up. You are tied to me. I think we should have that rule. Personally, I feel like once you cross over the finish line, you should, now you can never leave your partner. I like clink clink. Like, no, I personally feel like that's the only way to do it, because I just don't want to see nobody's feelings get hurt. And why don't couples cross the finish line outside? Why do we have to do it in the room? Like, you could have gone to the shower, you could have gone to the day beds, you could have gone to soul ties. Can we please get some privacy? I do not want to hear y'all bang. And I know that now that y'all banged, I'm gonna hear it at least a couple more times throughout this time, your time with the villa. I don't want to do that. And then as couples progress, everybody's gonna be doing it in the same room? No way. No, thank you. Please, noise canceling headphones. You know what? Or that. I think as a gift, the production needs to give me noise canceling headphones. I do not want to hear that. Everyone goes to bed. Everyone wakes up the next day, gets ready for the day. Nick sees TJ made tea for Sierra. He takes it. You know what? Hey, call it petty. I'll do the same thing. You ain't going to drink another man's tea. I'm confident with you. We just banged. Oh, yeah. No, you are not sipping on another man's tea less than 6 hours later. No, thank you. And then we have Nick, who pulls Ace for a chat. Of course, he opens up about Ace, about, their intimate moment. And then they start laughing, because Nick is like, oh, that's the best 25 seconds of his life. And I said, you know what? Hey, at least you honest about it. I love that he's secure in everything that he is, because, hey, if it's been a while, it may be like that. And honestly, that's a compliment to Sierra, because he was, raving about how good it was. So, hey, good for you, girl. You got that good. And then it was so funny, because he said he had to apologize. It was so fast. Nick, it's okay. You'll do better next time. He says he feels really good about Sierra, and he's really happy. But Ace reminds him, like, hey, this is new territory now. Now that you've done this, you can't just, treat it like it's just some little couple. Like, you have to step up, and now there's more feelings involved. Like, this is a new level. So please just be careful. And he understands the gravity of the situation. He concurs. I feel like he's at a space where he's not ready to close it off, but he's getting there. I think he's ready to, like, be with Sierra, and I love them together. They honestly, if Alondra and Taylor don't get it together, I think they could win it. Because at the end of the day, Love Island is about love. Not because we like someone, like Alondra. We want them to be in a loving couple. We go back to Huda trying to flirt with TJ. Honestly, I don't think he's feeling her, and I think she realizes that, because honestly, I don't think all the bombshells know now that she has a kid and she's a crash out. So I don't think much bombshells are going to be coming in for her, no matter how much she, tries to woo them, flirt with them, bring her best game. There's nothing to erase your kid and the crash out moments you've had. I think that would scare off a lot of people. So honestly, the kid thing is less than the crash out. I feel like people just don't want to deal with that. So that's unfortunate. I hope that they find somebody that will give her a chance, though. Now it's time for the challenge. For this challenge, it's the nasty challenge. And you already know, as a faithful Love Island watcher, and if you're not, I'll explain. Every season, there is a challenge where they have to exchange saliva, spit. Yes, you may think that's a kiss. No. More in a nasty way, where there's something that goes into your mouth, water, juice, something, I don't know, anything. So this time it's milk. And then you have to transfer it to the other partner's mouth. Last time it was a train. So basically, or like a line. I don't want to say train, but so there's a line. So you get I don't know what it was. They had some in their mouth. They would pass it to everyone's mouth along the line. So basically, by the last person, you had everybody's saliva and bacteria in your mouth. So this time, for this season, it's about milk. So for the challenge, the couples have to navigate through these obstacles with the men's legs. The women have to hold the men's legs. They're crawling on all fours, and they have to crawl around the obstacles blindfolded. Once they get to this big tub, you bob for the islander's name, which bobbing is, you have your hands behind your back, you open your mouth, and you try to get the card out of the water from with your mouth, basically. And then this one's a long one, honestly. This challenge was way too dang long. I feel like we need to like less complicate these things. Maybe they needed some filler, but I'm just like, please let it make it like 1 to 2 steps maximum. And then we have, after the bobbing, they kiss the person that they pick to, that they are interested in other than their couple. And then once they kiss, they go over to the milk station. Now, this is where it gets nasty. So the guy sprays the milk from the udders in his mouth, get the milk, transfer it to his partner in her mouth. She spits into a bucket. That bucket will have a messy question on it. They answer it. Pour that bucket on the islander. On the islander. Can y'all believe that? I personally believe that the producers switched the buckets. I don't think they let the islanders spit in saliva, and there wasn't enough to be in the bucket to pour on someone. So maybe they just spit in it. I don't know, but I really, really hope that the producers switched the buckets and just edited it. Hopefully they did that, because the first one was bad. And I'll get into that. And then, so basically, after they dump the bucket, I believe they go make out on the picnic table or on the picnic blanket, and then that's it. I feel like I'm missing something, but we'll get into it once we get started. So now we are starting the challenge. So we have Alondra and Taylor go first. Of course, Taylor picks Adrena for his kiss from the, bobbing for the card in the water. And Alondra picks Ace. I'm peeping it, because every time she has an opportunity to kiss Ace or pick Ace, she picks Ace. I wonder if she has ever tried that. Maybe she just likes how he kisses. I don't know. But Alondra, do you want some little piece of Ace? Don't ruin Shelly's good time. Let's keep it as, cordial and friendly. But I think she likes Ace a lot. Alondra and Taylor's question is, who do you think is spreading rumors behind people's back? They talk about Jeremiah and Huda and picks Jeremiah. I think, honestly, they just wanted to save Huda. I think that more applies to Huda more than Jeremiah, because every time she relays, I don't want to say every time, but sometimes when she relays information from Jeremiah to the group, it's not exactly how he said it, and it's kind of a little bit fabricated. So I feel like that more applies to her. But this girl stuff in this villa, separate. Stop with this loyalty. Can you please just do it to the people that apply? Stop saving her. And then the nastiest part of my day just happened. It ruined my whole day. They pour the saliva infested milk from, you know what? It's not even just Alondra and Taylor's germs. It's Alondra, Taylor, Adrena, and Ace's germs all in each other's mouths. They spit into that bucket, and now you have all those people's germs crawling in your mouth. Ew, just ew, gross. And I'd have to quit. I'd have to be like, I'm not feeling good. I'm going to step out this challenge. I do not want to do this, because you could just see the milk dripping all over his mouth and in his mouth. Ugh. Please, I'm suing. I have to at this point. On principle, I have to sue for the nasty thing that you just made me do. Anyway, so let's get back to the challenge. So we have Amaya and Austin go next. Amaya picks TJ to kiss. Austin picks Shelly to kiss. Austin, don't you fall back. I know you having doubts about Amaya, but don't you fall back. I'm not ready to hear 20 more hours of you complaining and Shelly being indecisive. Let it go. And then their question is, who do you think is the biggest chicken when it comes to commitment? And of course, she picks Ace, but Ace did it right. He has a hat on, so it's all flipping, all that saliva and spit swapping and whatever poured all around him more than on him. So that was good. Ace and Shelly go next. They both pick the bombshells, TJ and Adrena. And I did see Ace could barely reach Adrena after he picked her up. I'm not saying he did, but you could just tell, like, he's a little shorter. So, and she's, I bet she's a stallion. So I bet, oh, baby, but hey, I'm glad that Ace never backs down to a challenge. Let's put it that way. So, and then we have Shelly. She says it was a great kiss with Ace, on the picnic blanket, wish they could run it back. It was so attractive to see him, pull her face, because that's something that I would do. If I'm hinting, that means I want you to do it. So pulling her face and kissing her again, that is so cute. And I hope that they have a good, good relationship and he don't play too much. And then we have a Jeremiah and Iris go. Jeremiah, of course, picks Adrena. And then he tries to pick her up and is a little bit struggling, but hey, I'm not even tripping. I know that it's a little bit embarrassing, but hey, it's not a lot of people can pick people up, so don't even feel bad. I ain't judging. I can't pick nobody up, so hey, I'm not, no shame on that. And then we have Huda says that, of course, Huda got to get her comments in. Huda says that he's not that strong while smiling. Girl, please. I thought we were done talking with you and Jeremiah in the same sentence. I thought Ace put that mandate out already. So please, quiet. And then we have they kiss, of course. Jeremiah loves to kiss. He pulled away and she pulled him back in, which is always a good sign because that means, you know, she wanted some more. So he's really happy about that. Hannah and Pepe go. Hannah picks TJ. Pepe picks Sierra, which she was shocked, but I was not because she was always his second choice. So he's going to pick her out of everybody. And then their question is, who do you think is full of bull? They pick Huda, of course, because Huda is moving funny in the villa with Hannah. And then she says it hurts to get milked, which you can't really say it hurts because you can see that coming. I'm sorry. You know that that's messed up and they're going to pick you. That's it, period. Sierra and Nick goes next. Sierra picks Pepe, which is interesting. I wonder if she would pick Pepe if he didn't pick her. But then Nick picked Adrena and grabs her butt. Now, I'm going to say this as a warning, Nick. It's cute and all, whatever, fine. But I don't want you objectifying my girl. You don't need to be so obsessed with just her body. Like, be obsessed with her mind as well. I do not want to just keep hearing about how good her body is, and you better keep your hands to yourself moving forward, because like I said, now the standard is way higher now that you've actually had relations with Sierra. Stop playing in her face. I do not like that. Don't do too much. And I feel like for me, if I gave up my body, there's no way you're going below the waist with some girl. I'm sorry. There's no way. So you can see, obviously, Sierra is a little irritated with how much he's into this challenge. So I hope that she nits that in the bud, honestly, because it's all cutie cutesy now. But when we get in a relationship, you need to lock it down and lock in. So I will say that as a warning to you, Nick, now. And then I think Nick did it, honestly, because it's now or never. I think he did it because he feels like it's getting serious with Sierra. So to flirt with somebody, to cross those lines, it's either now or never, personally. Their question is, who do you think should leave the herd? They picked Jeremiah. Isn't that your bestie, bruh? Like, what is wrong with Nick? See, that's what I'm saying. See, I was doubting myself earlier in the review, but I'm saying Nick is fake for that. I'm just so confused on why they picked him. They need to explain that. I'm sorry. We need to see on why they even picked him. And then Huda gets to pick a man because she is single. She picks Pepe, of course. And then Huda also picks TJ to kiss. She had her mouth wide open. We in a couple or something. Girl, please chill. Please chill. And she just doing way too much, because we'll see how the effects of her kiss later. And then their question is, who do you think is making the biggest mistake? And then they pick Jeremiah. Honestly, Huda, you didn't have to. You could have been mature and picked someone else. I think it would have looked better on her for her to move on and stop trying to, get little jabs in about Jeremiah, honestly. TJ picks Iris to kiss. Oh, no, sorry. TJ's up next. He picks Iris to go with. He picks Sierra to kiss. And then Iris picks Nick. And I was really shocked. I didn't know Iris was into Nick. Maybe I forgot because there's so many episodes since she's walked in. And then they get so into it that they end up swapping. They end up, basically going against each other, how affectionate they can be. And then the question is, who do you think is too chicken to speak their mind? They pick Hannah. I agree, because I feel like she doesn't know how Huda's going to react. So she's very, very hesitant to speak her mind. And then Adrena goes. She picks Nick to go with her, which is interesting. Maybe she wanted to end up kissing both Jeremiah and Nick, or maybe she wanted to kiss the most Jeremiah, so therefore she just picked the challenge for Nick. I don't know. Sierra is obviously irritated because every bombshell loves to get to know Nick and everybody loves to kiss him. So, hey, I definitely understand. I couldn't go on the show. I couldn't, because I'd be like, all right, you've had enough fun. It's time to get married. I'm sorry. Like, it's time to lock it down with me. It's done. Like, no more kissing for you. We're off the show. Nick surprisingly picks Iris. I did not know Nick was into Iris. Maybe he just picked a safe choice that wouldn't piss Sierra off, because I'm very confused. And then Adrena picks Jeremiah, of course, to kiss. And then the question that they have is, who do you think is a side chick? Iris. I think that's a good safe answer, because Iris was a side chick to Jeremiah and Huda. So yeah, pretty much. And then they make out on the blanket, and he's grabbing her butt, and he's really, really loving it, and they're doing a lot, and she's pinning down his hands, and it's a lot. And I feel like Sierra is very, very nice for not spazzing out too much, but I feel like Nick needs to chill. You've done it once, you've done it twice. Now you better not do it again. That's how my conversation, I hope Sierra puts him in check after that, because you don't see me grabbing TJ by his, private area and doing all this stuff. Like, no, you don't. I know it's a little bit different, but I'm saying, like, you don't see me doing too much. So let's calm it down. So the challenge ends, and Hannah and Pepe talk. Hannah asks how the kiss with Huda went. He said interesting, because he just gets irritated that she did this to Hannah and didn't really give her a heads up. But he feels like she put herself in this position, and but he feels bad for her, though, because all the things that she's been through in this villa. Hannah feels she needs to talk to Hannah. She does later on in the episode. Jeremiah, Alandria, and Huda talk, and here's where that line gets to going. Huda, you're lying. You can't tell me and sit here and think to think that you did not think to tell Hannah, because all you have to do is, would I want my man to be pulled? Would I want a conversation? That's all you have to do. And I'm very confused on why you can't do the simple courtesy of saying, hey, Hannah, I want to get to know Pepe. It would have been 2-second conversation. It would have been done. But nah, you want to lie and say, oh, I forgot that the end of the challenge I had to make out with Pepe. Oh, why did you pick him then? Pick somebody random like Taylor or something that you don't have any attraction to. I don't know. Like, why would you pick him? You kissed more than... I'm just done. I'm done, Huda. I don't like it when people play in my face and try to I'm smarter than that. And you can tell on Taylor and Alondria's face that they don't believe her. Like, we're just letting you be delusional, and okay, cool. And then she says Pepe and TJ are good kissers, and they kept moaning. Girl, are you a professional capper? Like, you just love to put doves on things, and you like moaning. Are you serious? Come on, stop it. And then she said she feels TJ feels that she is not his type, and feels that she can only talk to Pepe or TJ, which is true. She knows Hannah is pissed and still didn't talk to her yet. I can't believe that she still hasn't talked to her, because you should be really initiating that, because you are the one doing the wrong in a so-called girl's girl, quote unquote. And then we have Alandria asks if Huda has talked to her first. Of course she says no. And then Alandria scrunches up her face, because she knows, girl, you need to get your act together, because not you being disrespectful and wanting respect. And then she tells Huda that to her face and says, you shouldn't do that. You should go and just be respectful, and out of respect, tell Hannah that you want to talk to Pepe. Huda says she's new to this, and she is trying. Yeah, you're new to it because you put yourself as new to it, but you wouldn't be new to it, and you would have had a fair chance with Pepe if you wouldn't have locked everything down, and that's your fault, and you have to suffer the consequences of your actions, and that's just it. And then she says she doesn't really have many options because everybody's with somebody. It goes to Ace, Chelly, Nick, and Sierra talking. Ace is very surprised that Huda went after Hannah's man, because all the times Hannah actually was there for her. But Nick honestly says it has a soft spot for Huda, and says he's starting to feel bad because it feels like all the villa against Huda, and she is just putting herself out there because that's the situation that she's in. Everyone's getting ready for the night. Austin starts to express concerns about Amaya, because he feels like she's moving way too fast. We were just friends, and now we're like married and have kids. You're acting like we're married and have kids and all this other stuff. It's just going too far for him too quickly. And then we have Nick, who feels good about the challenge. Once again, mentions Adrena's body, which I do not appreciate, because at this point in the episode, I was like, okay, Nick, enough. She has more to her than that. And I bet you Adrena has gone through that probably her entire life. Maybe she doesn't care. I don't know. But I know I would care, because at a certain point, it's like, are you here for me or my body? And I just hope that he just stops bringing it up, honestly, because it's starting to piss me off. And then I hope, I just really hope that people don't use her in this villa. Everyone comes downstairs to walk to the table. Iris and Amaya talk. Iris is not confident that TJ is feeling her because he didn't even say hi when she came down. Feels she has shown TJ how much she likes him. Amaya tells her to try one more time and then pull away and see if he comes back, because often that makes him come back even harder. And then Iris checks in on Amaya. Amaya feels good about Austin. She sees him as someone who she can go on fun dates with and have a good time with. Then we go to Austin and Jeremiah talking. Feels Amaya is just too intense too quickly. It's kind of freaky to him. Like he really wants her to back up because he wanted someone all about him, but this is just too much. And Jeremiah reassures him and says, hey, you don't have to apologize for not liking someone. It's how you feel, and just be transparent about, how you feel, and it's not a bad thing. And then Huda pulls Hannah for a chat because she feels like an a-hole. Of course, she does, because I'm not saying you are, but that was a tendency of one. She didn't think she needed to ask Hannah. Once again, she reiterates that lie because she feels bad and she knows she moved grimy. Hannah says, she wants to be clear that she didn't need her permission. She just wanted the respect of just giving her a heads up. Huda says that she didn't want to disrespect their connection or what they have because you're my girl. Like, I think this is not a version of love bombing, but the way she goes about this conversation is just like, I love you. You're my girl. We're this. We're so close. We're this. We're that. Like, you're just pouring into it too much and just overwhelming her with just trying to feel bad about me, or trying to make sure that she doesn't make you feel too bad because I love you, I this, I that. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to perfectly describe it, but it's just, she just kind of friendship love bombing her personally, in my opinion. Once again, Huda says she's new to pulling people for chats and, doing this whole flirting thing. Hannah tells her she's mad that Huda picked her man because out of everybody, she was there for her and wish she would have done something else. Huda feels bad. Hannah wants her to find love, but secretly hopes it's not her man. Reassures her that she is not trying. She's just trying to get to know her options at this point. She doesn't know if she can steal him or not, but she just wants to get to know her options. Hannah feels she should have explored from the beginning, which is true. Hannah, you are so right, because you did this to yourself. You are the person who actually broke, kind of like close yourself off to people. It's not my fault. So now you want to come steal my man because you put yourself in this position? Like, no, I'm pissed. And then she feels like, Hannah feels like Huda should be moving more intentionally and genuinely. Huda says, we're still friends. I love you. Of course, keep pushing that I love you stuff. She says, I love you too. I love you more. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, I'm not going back and forth with you. Like, I think Hannah is still pissed personally and doesn't. I think the girls don't really like Huda that much personally. That's just in my opinion. I think they're tolerating her for the show. I feel like if anyone does like her, it's Sierra, because at this point Hannah feels disrespected, I think. Huda says, I know it hurts, and she hates that. Hannah says it's okay. Sierra and TJ talk about the challenge. TJ feels Sierra is easy to talk to, easy and classy. I thought that was shade, because Huda, I would say, I'm not the class police, so let me not say this, but I don't think TJ feels Huda is very classy. I'm gonna leave that there. They get to know each other. He opens up about feeling a rush to show success to his family. And I can definitely relate to that, because I feel like I sometimes get in a rush too, to not for my family per se, but just for myself. Like, I want to just get to my goals really quickly. Adrena and Nick talk about how intimate they were at the challenge and how everything went. We go back to Sierra and TJ. She makes it clear that she is really feeling Nick, but is still open. Adrena is starting to like Nick more and more. But be careful, Nick. I know that she's some new shiny thing you want to look at, but grass ain't always greener. And wants to keep getting to know each other. Gives her a kiss on the hand and the cheek. Okay, not too much, Nick. Watch that. All right, that's very respectful, but watch it, because my girl Sierra is gonna come for you. And then Huda and TJ are talking in the kitchen. He says that she bit him or something during kissing and left a mark. Girl, what were you doing? And we'll see later how hard Jeremiah was sucking on Adrena's lips. So maybe she learned it from him. But girl, you are doing a lot if you left a mark. Come on now. And then he says it's all good, but I believe it probably was a turn off to him that she left a mark. Honestly, I don't think he was really feeling that, because I feel like he would have approached it differently if he was like really into it, but it was okay. Huda feels flirting is fun. Keeps talking to TJ, brings him up to soul ties, I believe. TJ feels like he's the king of the world, and then talks about the challenge. Both say that each other's are a good kisser. Calls him out for talking about kissing, about complaining about her kiss being too rough or whatever downstairs. Once again, she finds another thing to complain about with a man that she has just met. Girl, relax. When you're in the flirting stage, you don't complain. You just bite it and just be like, okay, we'll talk about it later, or make a good joke about it, or I don't know. Like, you just need to chill. Like, in the beginning, it's supposed to be honeymoon phase, not complaining phase. It's going to turn them off. And then she says that she's looking at it. She says it's not bruised. She says, honestly, I can't really see that well. She wears glasses. I hope, okay. In my opinion, sometimes when people who wear glasses don't wear glasses, they don't wear glasses and then make it their personality that they don't wear glasses, and like they're so blind and oh my gosh, like I can't see. I just don't want to wear my glasses because of X, Y, and Z. Like, I can't explain it, but you've seen those people who just make not wearing their glasses like they should their own personality, and it's just like, girl, just wear your glasses and just be normal so you can see. And then she says she's nearsighted so she can see up close. And then strike one against TJ. Strike one because he asked the most annoying question to any glasses wearer. How many fingers am I holding up? Well, I can't stand that because I wear glasses. So it's just like, stop asking. Anyone that you know that wears glasses, I'm warning you now, do not ask that unless you want to get into an argument. Okay, that's just it. They're laughing together, which is always good. And then she says that he looks tired, so why don't we just talk tomorrow? She says, will you pull me will you pull me or do you want me to pull you? And he says he'll pull her, and then she does the doughy-eyed, oh really? Just like she said she wouldn't in the first episode, but now you're doing that over and over again, like, oh really, me? And I think that's a turn off to him because he was like, stop that S. I said, oh. Not in a rude way. He said it with like laughter, but I was just like, yeah, that is definitely getting on his nerves. And then he says this place is beautiful. She says because of me. He says yes. And then of course another complaint, Huda. You never told me that. Girl, chill. And then we have Austin and Amaya talking. She's like, "Can I call you babe? Does it make you uncomfortable?" Probably residue from Ace, spazzing out on her about that. And then he says, "Yes, I don't mind. I know you're an affectionate person, and all the love that you're giving and communication and all that. He's just not used to it and so fast. So I don't know if he's uncomfortable. I feel like maybe he's downplaying and not to hurt her feelings, but I feel like he is uncomfortable. Maybe not with the babe thing, but I think other things that she does make it uncomfortable." And I found it suspicious that she asked him, "Oh, what makes you uncomfortable?" when you just had a conversation about being uncomfortable with her. Did she overhear you? Did she hear through the grapevine? I wonder what makes her ask that, or if it's just a coincidence. And then we have Austin just getting to know her, and he loves getting to know her and the energy that she brings out of him. Jeremiah talks to Adrena again. Adrena says the challenge was fun. They ask, "What are you looking for?" Jeremiah says, Adrena asks him, "What are you looking for?" Jeremiah says he wants a best friend, a person that he can laugh with. Adrena says that she has never had a boyfriend. Once again, red flag. Jeremiah is really feeling her. You can see it all over his face. He's just in heaven right now. He doesn't even, once again, everything she's saying is going in and out the ear. All he hears is la 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 la, because he is just in love with this girl. And once again, he probably gonna try to lock her down. Clank, clank. And then we have, and that's a Medea reference, by the way. And then we have where are we going next? Oh yes. And then we have Adrena says he's looking really good and checks a lot of boxes. She really likes Jeremiah. I think she sees him as her dream man. So maybe they'll do the same, lock each other down. And then she says he tells her that she's cute. She says that he's handsome. They kiss, have a good kiss. Once again, he's sucking on her lip like is going somewhere. I don't know. He don't ever want her to leave. He gonna grab her by the lip. He is sucking the soul out of her. And he was like, and I'm just thinking, like, that's probably why Huda did old boy like that and left a mark, because she learned it from Jeremiah. And then he's super excited, or she's super excited about Jeremiah. They're both excited about each other. So we'll see where that connection goes. And tomorrow we have a vote for who is everyone's favorite Islander. And the lowest Islander is at risk of going home. Huda baby. Huda baby. I really hope they save you one more time, because honestly, you deserve to get a bombshell. But unfortunately, I think people don't like you. I don't have much faith. I'm so sorry. But that is it. And there's no preview for the next night. So unfortunately, we didn't get a tomorrow night. We more got a tomorrow night because it's After Sun. And I will probably post clips about it on my TikTok about, After Sun. But I don't have much faith on me on watching it. I'm sorry. Nah, I'm more passing on that. But I am so excited y'all made it to the end. Whoever made it to the end, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and put it in the comments, because I'd love to see who is staying to the end. So thank you so much for sticking with me through another review. I hope you guys have a great day. Can't wait to talk to y'all in 2 days. And I am excited to see what comes next. Have a great day. Like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time.